welcome to a website throwdown. We've been chatting for just a few moments so I could get a feel for what's going on with your website. And thank you always for being vulnerable enough to allow me to see behind the curtain. I love
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
And then you also get the sparkling holiday tree.
I have definitely been enjoying it thus far.
I feel like if I'm having a serious meeting, it really kind of downgrades the tone.
I really think it lifts it up.
It lifts it up. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I haven't looked at your website. We just had a brief conversation. You told me that the site has been up for 2.5 years. I asked you how many visitors you get on a monthly basis. You said, I don't know. So I always encourage everyone to know those numbers. But you said less than 100. And to be honest with you, as a personal brand, as a growing company, that's exactly where you probably would be. So there's no shame in that game. The only maybe shameful moment is you did admit that there was only one lead the entire 2.5 years. So we need to do something about that. And I hope that taking you through this website throwdown, we might give you some good little nuggets that you can apply to your site.
That'd be great.
How technically savvy are you?
Well, reasonably savvy, but I don't code.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the fact that you even specified it that way kind of tells me exactly where you're at. So that's good. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. I feel like I make this more stressful than it needs to be. Let's see. It's like a big reveal. Okay. Are you seeing just my Google? Yeah, okay. And I've got your URL there. I need to bring your picture over here because I like to talk to somebody and not just to my camera lens. There we go. All right, so I'm going to hit the button. Right now, we're gonna go. Oh, and you know what? I should have my glasses on. That would be helpful. All right, no, I'm very astute and ready to critique here. Okay, let's look at this. I love the fact that your hero image, this image that we're seeing as the main image on the site, is a big old mountain, and your company name is Mountain Adventure Travel. I think that's a pretty beautiful thing. Is this a picture of you? Are you one of these people here?
No, the ones, while my family was there, we did this trip, but I couldn't find any pictures that worked in this spot. So
Gotcha.
This picture is actually my clients that wanted the same trip we did. And so it's their picture from this past summer.
Okay, so I love that story. I want, if you have the ability to get a caption in either on the picture or directly below it, depending on what you've built your website on. Looks like you're on Weebly.
Yeah.
You should be able to do something and fly a caption over there, just so I can see that story, that this isn't something you ripped down off of the web and threw up here. So I really love that. Let's see. So the rule for your menu items is that for your top navigation is that you shouldn't have more than 5.
Okay.
And you are holding true to that. That's pretty good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know, but I really am ashamed that I was really trying to count that, and I was like, yeah, it looks like 5. I'm good with that. I wasn't really counting the contact with the telephone number because it's like you've got the telephone number. I'm just trying to excuse the fact that I can't count. So one of the things I want to ask, so Mountain Adventure Travel LLC, so that's the legal identity. Is there any reason why you have that as a part of the logo here and a part of what I'm seeing, the name of the site? I just always find that as more of a technical aspect and not really a feature of the brand. So I was just curious.
The LLC part?
Yeah.
I just thought I had to have it.
You do have to have it on any legal documentation. But you rarely see that, Disney doesn't slapping incorporated on there. So yeah, just from a branding perspective, it's adding this extra little bit that my brain has to process. But I
Okay.
love the fact that I've got your logo here. I've got the text version of your company name there, and I've got a great image of people having fun. Now I know that those are your clients. That's you, and you know what I'm thinking, instead of saying a big story, just say actual client photo. Just
Okay.
that's all
Yeah.
you have to say, right? Like just like when you look at a cosmetic ad on an infomercial, it's like results from actual clients or
Yeah.
whatever. It's great. I love that you get your telephone number all over the place. Do you get a lot of calls in general, inquiries?
No, I actually don't. But I put my number all over the place from your last throwdown. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I did that. I changed that after I listened to that throwdown.
Yeah, well, I love the fact that you've got it in the top navigation, and I'm going to assume that even as I scroll, yep, I get to see the telephone number all over the place.
Yeah.
And then
Our sun's
also,
coming in.
huh?
The sun was coming in. I just
Yeah,
changed.
I was feeling like I was getting
Yeah.
blinded by the light there. So I see that you also have the telephone number in the footer. I am actually thinking because you've got some copy that you floated over this hero image. I don't know that you need it right here.
Okay.
Because I've got it at the top. It's always going to be there, and you've got it down the bottom. I really like your headline here. Congratulations, you're one step closer to an incredible vacation. I feel like that really sticks the landing for me. So
Cool.
I like that. And I love that you did this details and planning, you explore, play, and relax. Very nice. Um, it definitely seems like you're very excited because you put an exclamation point after your you statement, and then you put it in your following sentence where you don't have any punctuation in the me area or your me line there. So I think maybe take the exclamation point off of relax there and then leave it where you have because the world is filled with spectacular places.
Okay.
I don't know why exclamation points give me fever, but there'll be an email that I get that has 3 sentences and 2 of them have exclamation points, and I'm just like, no, there can only ever be one. So that's just a personal thing, but I do think that the way you've made this text here bigger,
Okay.
it doesn't need punctuation, but I love the fact that we close out this whole moment here with your exclamation point and exclamation point, and I just love that. And then there we go. We get to see Kerry. Welcome. Kerry is welcoming us. All right. So you're Alaska, the Alps, the Dolomites, Hawaii, Norway, South America, Europe, New Zealand, and Australia. These are your specialties?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
Well, no.
They are my specialties, but if it's too many, then I could certainly narrow it down. It's kind of like my specialties as well as the places I've been that I'm most familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And the
So
places
I would say your specialty is really the family adventure vacations and honeymoons,
okay.
right? So
Yeah.
that I probably, and I love that you have copy here and you are telling a story, but I'm wondering if we need to we've got a great intro with your hero here. Maybe we start out with, this is what I do. Family adventure vacations and honeymoons, bam. And then this would be a great moment, and I haven't scrolled all the way down, but it might be a great moment to actually have a photo of each of these locations to just say, and these are the places I've been to and I'm most passionate about, or ask me about these places. So it's not necessarily limiting you. Yeah, I feel this would be a great space to maybe reduce your copy and have a visual way for me to quickly get, okay, I saw the people on the mountain. She's not doing leisurely strolls down, the riverside. I want to see adventure in all these places.
Okay.
And if it could be pictures of you and your family, that would be awesome. But you might not have the right picture that you want to use here. But maybe just mix it up a little bit. And I love your picture. You've heard me say it a bunch of times. I love that I'm connecting with you And I can clearly say you're the owner. Here we go. We've got how to work with you. That's really awesome. You know what? One thing I didn't look at is here. So if I just come to your website, I don't have a button to get started with you here
Okay.
or here. So if I already have been to your site or I sent your site to the person I'm going to be traveling with, we might be ready to go. So, and of course, people are scared to death to get on the phone. So, just having some kind of a button to get there faster would be helpful. You've got a button down here, but I've got to scroll a little bit. I think that
Okay.
also increase your chances to get people to move forward with you faster. I'm going to go ahead and click on this button to see what's happening here. Okay, something that just surprised me is your font. You've got a couple of fonts going on within the site. You've got this thing that I hadn't seen before elsewhere, this font, and then I've got this font, and I've got this font. Is there any reason why so many fonts?
I mean, there's no design plan that brings us all those fonts. It's probably, I know, like the picture area, it's a theme within Weebly, so it's the other part of it is the different times that I work on the website and do something different, like get a great idea from a website Throwdown, then I go in and work on that. I don't always look to see how that meshes with the whole thing. So I probably changed something, changed the font, but then didn't think about, oh, well, that's different from the rest of the page and the other fonts, and I should. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to Throwdown, was to have the fresh eyes to look at it from one point in time versus my eyes that have seen it over and over again and are missing things like that.
No, that totally makes sense. So you've got a very unique font with your logo.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't try to duplicate that font anywhere else on the site.
It doesn't work.
It needs to stay as your logo, and I love that. So already you have added, because some companies have logos that the font really isn't that big of a deal. It's kind of whatever. It's a Helvetica, nobody cares. But then they have this killer icon. Well, you've got a killer icon and you've got a killer font. So they're really strong. I would just try to narrow down maybe 2 fonts that you're using across the site. One, it could be your headlines, something a little stronger, a little bit bolder, and then the rest is your body copy when you're writing paragraphs. So so decide on which one you're going to use, and then stay with that, and then you can always change. Weebly makes it very easy for you to change. But it does get tough, like the way you described it, where you go in, you've got this idea, and I'm just going to bang out this page, which kudos to you that you're not, letting it sit forever and ever and not updating it. But you are in that moment in time where you're just dealing with that page, and you're like, oh, well, this picture, this font looks good. But it does get a little jarring to simple minds like mine. So if you were designing your website for me.
You go back, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back to the main page, I do have the font in the Start Now button. What do you think of that?
Well, let's just look at this as an example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You've got this font for your headline.
Yep.
You've got this font for your little feature areas. You've got your body font, and then you brought in another font. So just in this one space, there's a lot going on.
Yep.
So I think in this case, I do like your step 1, step 2, step 3, and I don't think that needs to apply to the pick 2 fonts and roll with it. But I think it would be wise to use the same as your headline for your button font.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, and I'm not a very scientific person, but there are so many studies that I read or just anecdotal information I hear from people, and your brain is doing lots of stuff behind the scenes, and even just trying to read a document, it's trying to categorize it and organize it, and how does this, when I see this font and it's this heavy and it's this color, it is the most important piece. And then something that's just all black, it's not so important. So yeah, just simplify it a little bit. Give yourself some guardrails for the
Okay.
creativity. Have those guardrails there, and then work from there. All right, I'm going to go back to the your intake form
Okay.
here. Okay, so let's start planning. You've got a contact form. I assume does this go directly to your CRM, or does this just send an email to you and then you contact
It
them?
just sends an email to me.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay. We got name, phone number, really important. I personally, and I don't know if this is website best practices, but because I manage quite a lot of websites that are generating leads, I see that you have the name is required, the email is required, but you've not made the phone number required. And I have just found, because whenever you have a property on the web, you get so much junk. There's just so much junk out there. When you add a phone number, it stops a little bit of that from coming through. And in this day and age, there's so many automated systems that are sending out emails the moment you send an inquiry in, and they say, oh, someone will be in touch with 24 hours. I really love if you could get on the phone and call that person right away to find out if it's even worth your time. Like, don't even let it take up mind share if it is a person who's not really interested, or it's not a qualified potential client for you. So I would recommend that's required in general. The other thing, you might have heard me say this before, but there are a lot of things crawling around on the web, which sounds very shady, that are looking for things that look like email addresses. So since you have a form and you have your telephone number, I would just not have your email address right here, because you're increasing your chances of getting spam. Somebody's going to tell you on SEO services or website throwdowns, they're going to contact you and you're like, nah, I don't need to give that to anybody. They're still going to, some of them are still going to fill out your form. So you're going to get that, but just don't make it easy to get on spam lists. All right, so good. On this particular page, I love that you've got this beautiful picture, and I think it should be on your site. On the page where you're asking people to take action, I think it might be wise, and again, these are all opinions and you can do with them what you will. I don't know that you need a picture here. I don't like the fact that I have to scroll to get to the ability to contact you. If I'm hitting this button, then I'm pretty much ready. I'm primed and ready to get started with you. So just have that, bam, right when I click it, I'm ready to go. All right, so now I'm gonna just go back to the home page and continue on down the path.
You know, interestingly, perhaps the one lead that I got that said they found me through an internet search and got onto my website did not use my form. They just emailed me.
All right, you can't contradict what I'm saying. Stop it, Kerry. This is not going to happen. No, I would say that I would do that too. I just know the volume of emails and spam lists that I get on. The only way they're getting that email address is from websites where my address would be. If you limit how they, this is how you contact me if you want to do it on the web. Here's how you contact me by the phone. I think that just increases your chance to keep it focused. And then, maybe you find over time that it's beneficial to ask maybe another qualifying question, like what part of the world are you wanting to go to? Just to see if they're that far along. Because we get some inquiries where someone says, I want to go on a honeymoon. I don't know where. And you're like, are you really ready to really, are you just kind of poking around, seeing what sparks your interest? So, I mean, having a form allows you to do that. I love the fact that we've got an email newsletter. And so does this go out every single month?
That's the idea of it. No, I'm really bad at that.
When it does go out, what is the content about?
Look, I'll usually, the first part will be like just some like little bit about, to make it personal, some personalized something or other. And then it will usually link to some new blog post that I've written. And then I have had
Wait
like,
a minute, stop the presses. You do write a blog on a regular basis?
no, I said I write a blog. Let's not get carried away. Hold on, sorry.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
I do write a blog. I am not consistent.
Okay. Hey, I am not throwing stones. I have a blog on my personal site, and it is very embarrassing that the last article went out in August, right before Travel Quest World, because my world got a little Travel Questy and
Yeah.
busy. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just holding up a mirror saying, Joshua, you need to write that blog. Stop. You got to practice what you preach.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a myriad of things that you communicate in the email when it does go out.
Yeah, I try to have something that I've put in client pictures in the newsletter,
Nice.
and then I also have a little section of don't miss out on these adventures, like so some kind of inspiration, something.
I love it. So in the last 12 months, how many emails have gone? How many newsletters have gone out? It's
3.
okay. We're all family here.
3.
3. Okay. I like it.
But I will say that my biggest trip came from the newsletter because they saw the trip that we did and they wanted the same thing.
Yeah. So Kerry, why are you even admitting that in public? Because that's just saying then a high value activity for you is to do an email newsletter.
I know.
No, that's it's so easy to work on something else and over and over again. I've experienced it myself. The moment you send out an email, even if nobody even responds to the content of the email, that makes them remember you, and they're like,
Yep.
oh, I want to go to Tasmania, and I heard that you just went, right? And it sparks those conversations. So I think we're all very, very guilty of it. But the fact that you are committing to it here in writing,
Oh yeah, look at that.
it's a monthly, it's not an occasional or whenever I get a moment.
Yeah.
Let's keep our promises.
Okay.
Everybody that's watching us right now, myself included, no more, gone are the days where I go 6 months without sending an email newsletter. It's just not going to happen anymore. But I do love that you have this here. I love where it's located. I am a fan of pop-ups, which I haven't seen a pop-up
No,
to get me.
yeah.
It will dramatically, even though we all hate pop-ups, it
I
will
know.
dramatically increase your subscribers. And my personal, I kind of go back to how I've adapted to the way we work in this world. I go to a lot of websites on my phone, and I probably am not pulling the trigger because I just want to remember them. So I will subscribe in that pop-up when I see it come up and assume that they're going to email me on a monthly basis, and then I'll remember them when I'm ready to go. And of course, people are just like you and me, and then they don't send it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But I do think a pop-up is good, and I do know that Weebly has some options there. I don't know the best one. I've used a few, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head. So might be something to increase your subscriber count. How many subscribers do you have right now? Do you know?
About 55.
That's good. That's really good. You're saying it with a smile, like you're ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of it. That's
Okay,
awesome. Yeah.
I have 55.
Yeah, if you had 55,000, I would think, what's going on? Like, that's
Oh, that's
insane.
true.
That doesn't make sense. I love that you have your social links here. Are you pretty active on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's see your
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just think it's all these people are visiting your website and
Yeah.
they're trying to do business with you right now. And right now you're not. I love how you and I are wearing the same purple. Like I'm wearing this purple and right now, and you're wearing the same purple in your headshot here.
I do, and I get a lot of compliments on that color. Do you?
Yeah. In fact, I had it in my closet. I was trying to pull out clothes that I could fit into. Somebody at the copier was like, wow, what is that? Is that periwinkle? Is that lavender? And I'm like, oh, it's not plum. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I feel like I'm in a giddy mood. Okay, so we've got a story about Kerry. Family pictures, love it, love it, love it. Look at these certifications. You know what? I love that these certifications are right up your alley. I mean, and that would make sense. I think if you could add these to your footer instead of having it in the about section, it would be a great way to bring some life down to this footer and reinforce what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is, I think your mission statement, because you're setting this up as you, and you are the brand, and it is about Kerry. Instead of having it broken out as a separate statement, I'd like you to bring it into your story,
Okay.
and not even call it my mission statement, but just saying, this is what I'm passionate about. This is why I do this, and this is why I'm going to continue to do it for years to come. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Love, love, love picture. Good picture. Okay. Oh, and there's that font again. Oh, we got 3 fonts already. We haven't even gone anywhere. Okay. Good deal. Okay. So you just did one. You just did one at the top of the month. That's good. A blog post. Look at that. I love multiple pictures. That's really, really awesome. Well, I'm gonna like this right now.
Well, thank you.
You are very welcome. Look at this. I see you are taking me on the journey. I don't even have to buy from you. You are taking me on the journey. You are being known for travel, and I love it. And look at this archive of articles. This is wonderful. You've got categories too.
Well,
Fantastic.
sorry.
No, go ahead. Hey guys, you know what? She's just doing a website throwdown. She can't do business today.
um, so that's the one thing that I'm a little confused. I put the categories when I started, but I don't think I understand it. I think I messed it up basically, and I haven't gone back to try and figure out. I don't know if I categorize things the right way. So the idea was there, but I haven't been able to follow up well.
So let me tell you a little secret about categories.
Okay.
Because whenever you start a blog or a new website, if that template has that in there, everybody's like, oh, what do I do? And so you come up with something based on the content that you're writing at that moment, and then later on you add something else, and then you get out of this whole list of categories, there's only one destination, and it's Norway. So it seems kind of interesting that we have a category specifically for Norway. So it made me think, oh, she's just Norway. That's all she does. But what I was going to say is your categories are a great way for you to promote segments of your content. So you have, let's say, travel tips. I'm just going to grab that one because we are all over the place with the categories here.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to create some social content and you said, here's my latest email newsletter if you didn't get it in your inbox. Also, if you're looking for more travel tips, here's a link to my category page that should take me to all of the articles that fall within that category, which it looks like you only have the one, maybe.
Right. So, yeah, that goes back to I tried it right at the beginning, wasn't sure how to do it well, and then haven't categorized. It's like what you said. Like my first blog was probably the Norway one, so I was like, oh well, this is Norway. Then I realized later, like I don't know that these are the categories I want, or
Right.
that these are really overriding categories. So I haven't gone back to do anything about it.
Well, one of the things that goes on with optimization, search engine optimization, also known as SEO,
Mm-hmm.
is there, and I'm not even going to pretend to speak Google speak, but there are some signals that come from your blog that say, this is a category that I have identified on my site. And that category then does help Google in its kind of pulling information together to share with its users.
Hmm.
So for you to have travel tips, I don't think you're going to rank for travel tips across the United States, but it does say that there is a group of content on the site about travel tips. So
Okay.
when you hear people talk about writing to keywords, I have started using the category as not only a way to organize information and create some structure around it so someone can easily get to where they want to go versus just, I mean, we all think that people get to the blog and then they read the newest blog and then they move on to the next one. Well, some people just want to go to Norway and they want to see what you have in Norway. So maybe thinking about using the categories as a way to merchandise the information. And if you have the ability, which most sites do, to use multiple categories on a blog post, I would. I would do, if it is an example of a vacation, then I would say vacation inspiration. But then if it was about Tasmania, I would also add the category Tasmania. So then over time, you start to get this list of destinations as well. And people can then start to shop your site based on the content that you have provided. So that's it. I find that from a content organization piece, that makes a great user experience. From a search engine and optimization standpoint, it is a great way to signal I've got content chunked in these particular topics. So,
Okay.
and you can always fix that. That's not,
Yeah.
you can go back, just come up with, if you write about if you have three different styles of blogs, make those your three categories and just start building from there. And then add in your destinations. And if you only have two styles of blogs, maybe one is recipes that I've gathered along the way, one is my adventures, and one are trips or tips about traveling to different destinations. I mean, just kind of come up with some, again, those guardrails, just like we were talking about with the fonts. Come up with
Right.
your guardrails. And I find, even though it sounds like you're being restrictive and you're saying, hey, you've got to color within the lines, no, when you have some guardrails, you can blossom with creativity. So that's how I would look at that.
Cool.
I got really excited about categories. I don't know that that's ever happened before. Um, all right, so let's go over here. So travel insurance, pretty
Can I
important
ask you
to
a question
you.
about the
Yeah,
blog?
yeah.
So, some of them are, it's like if you're scrolling down just from the front blog page, you can see the whole article. And some of them I've done where you can do like shorten it up and read more.
Yeah.
So do you have any thoughts on which is better? Or because I don't know if it'd be better to, like, if I'm not interested in Alaska, it's easier to skip that one if it's shorter, or they've got pictures in them, so just keep them big.
So the way I would do it, and if you go through our collection of websites that ultimately I'm responsible for, some of them have some restrictions and they don't have that ability. But just like the cover of Vogue magazine goes through, here's the 6 things that are in this issue, and now you can get to where what the information that you want. I think it's a great idea to use the excerpts and have a photo, a title, an excerpt, and a date if that's an option for you. So I can scroll through and see, oh wow, because one of the big tasks that you have as a webmaster is making sure that your website is signaling fresh content. Your
Yeah.
about section is not going to get updated that often, and if it is, then do you not know who you are? That sparks that question. But your blog is the thing that you're constantly adding to, whether it's promotional offers or content like this, your unique content. So the idea that I could scroll through and see pictures of everything, I don't have to go through every line in the first article. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
And if you can use, I don't know if in this particular template, if you can create a summary section on your homepage where it shows just the picture and title and excerpt from the latest blog post, that's a great way to signal on your homepage
Okay.
that you're updating content on a regular basis. So pretty important.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else on the blog?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. So I was in the middle of saying this when you wanted to go back to the blog. It's
Okay.
interesting to me that in your top navigation, which you're telling the whole wide world, These are the most important sections of my website. In your top navigation, you have travel insurance. Why did you make that choice?
You know, what I think happened, because I can't be sure, is that like I put together the blog based on some great information, and then I found some other fabulous information, like, oh, I should put that in. And so I think it's just, it's the result of having lots of different information at different times and not considering the whole picture.
Yeah. So it does seem odd that it is up here. So, and we go back to the rule was 5 and I miscounted and we came up with 6.
Yeah.
So with that, why don't we take that away from the top navigation, and you can always add it in here in this section here, like learn about travel insurance, or something as it's not going away, people can still get to it. I love how busy your phone is.
Sorry.
And people watching us at home are like, she's got all these clients calling and she's having to send in a voicemail. But anyway, I don't lose the travel insurance page, because I'm sure you refer to it. You might even put the link into an email when you're giving a client the option, hey, you might want to look into insurance. But I don't think it needs to be in the top navigation, because I think it's signaling the wrong thing for what you're trying to do. I mean, if I see about, blog, what people think, and then how to get started with you, that's golden.
Okay.
That's the big piece there. All right, so we've got travel insurance, and TravelX is who you're using. You're promoting TravelX?
Yeah, because they have the adventure sports package that covers roped travel. So if people are doing mountaineering.
Okay. So do you say that anywhere here?
Nope, that's more generic.
Okay. I just think it's interesting that in person you told me that, and that sounds, it actually makes me want to buy this, because that's why I'm doing business with you. Let's put Kerry all over this. Like what would she say if we were talking about insurance? That's interesting. Cool. That's very cool. All right, testimonials. Wow, what clients are saying? Look at this couple.
Yeah.
Hello. I wish people would give me testimonials. This is awesome. Is that, oh, that's a quokka, right? Isn't that how it's pronounced?
Quokka, yeah.
Quokka, is that what it is? Quokka? Okay, I follow Quokka Hub on Instagram. And these guys, and then I learned that they're nocturnal, but because everybody is so interested in them and taking pictures with them, they're staying up so they can take pictures with the visitors.
Yeah.
I was just blown away. And so then I shared a cute picture or whatever. And then somebody hit me back and they said, yeah, they're all really sweet until they're scared and there's a threat, and then they throw their baby out of the pouch and run away.
Oh no.
I was like, but they take great selfies. So that's awesome. This is wonderful, Kerry. I couldn't ask for more. This is wonderful. The only thing I might do is be consistent with quoting.
Okay.
The quotation marks.
Yeah.
And within Weebly, it has a style sheet. It might have the option when you're putting this content in to change the style to a quote, and whatever the template is might have a quote, and that might be italics, or it might be a little bigger, or it might have a big quotation mark. Just take a look and see if it has that option. And I would look, you've got this one in gray, and then you've got these in black. And this, I'm glad that this has happened. I think I know why it's happened. If you cut content out of an email or somewhere and you paste it into a what you see, what you get, which is called a WYSIWYG, for those of you who don't know, you sometimes bring in some of the style and the formatting from the original document or the website.
Okay.
So you always want to be in the habit when you're cutting and pasting into your blog, into web pages, that you use the option within Chrome or whatever your browser is to edit, paste, match style,
Okay.
or insert unformatted text, and then it won't give you this weird, wacky, you got two in
Yeah.
gray and the rest are in black.
Okay.
That's what I think happened there.
All right.
Um, okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then we go back to the contact page. So this, you're doing a lot of good stuff,
Thanks.
and you can do a few little changes, and I think this will be super tight.
Okay.
I don't know, how often do you change this header area, the hero area on the homepage?
I mean, not often or regularly, but I did change it recently after the last Throwdown.
Okay.
So it changed, but
I am wondering, now that you and I are both going to start doing monthly newsletters and it's not
yes.
going to be delayed, I am wondering if you test out whatever your big theme is for your newsletter, whether it's a special is a specific destination or a special offer or something that you're focusing on. Try to bring that to life here, and
Okay.
maybe change out your header or your headline and subtitle there, just to signal some freshness, and also to evaluate. I'm sure the majority of your traffic comes to the homepage. See what is what resonates the most, and it might be something that just compounds over time. The fact that you're changing it, Google sees that the most important text on this page is getting changed every single month. This
Mm-hmm.
is a live website, or it might just be that you're pointing your visitors to the place that's hot right now, or the thing that you really want to promote right now, so they can get to it faster. We talked
Okay.
about having a button to get started. Maybe that button isn't just to get started. Maybe that button is to now go look at my Tasmanian blog post, because I just went there. So try that out. Um, and you've got your logo here, or you've got your company name here. You don't necessarily have to have your logo here. So when you're playing and testing out new content here or new images, mix it up. Sometimes use the logo, sometimes not. If you
Okay.
could just drop in your icon, so
Mm-hmm.
I love the icon.
Thanks.
Just play with it a little bit. But and I don't want to send you down the wrong direction if you feel strongly about the LLC in your branding. But I think you don't need it
Okay.
from a brand perspective, and just make sure that you have it in your privacy policy. And people know down here it's fine in the footer. It's
Okay.
fine. I just think from a brand perspective, you don't want people saying, I hate when people read out their web address and they're like, go to www dot whatever. We all know you don't have to say www, right? And the LLC is kind of giving me that fever right now. So
Okay.
anyway, so any other questions? Any things that you want to talk about?
Yeah, do you I was considering if there needs to be more on the website, like destinations, because I talked about, because the world is filled with spectacular places. Should I have examples of that on the website, or is that just more than needed, or what are your thoughts?
I definitely think from an SEO perspective, having pages within your site that do represent destinations, and that can be blog pages too.
Okay.
I mean, so I don't know that you need to add a whole menu of here are all of these destinations, but if you did a blog post that, here is the Australia edition, right?
Yeah.
Then, we talked about possibly adding photos of these areas where you have been and you're pretty passionate about. Then they're clickable, and then they go to your take on that destination. I think that would be a great idea.
Okay.
And from a search perspective, if someone happens to look within your area, if they're doing local searches, you now have some content. If they said Hawaii and local to me, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have some content that will start to rank, depending on the integrity of the content.
Cool.
What else?
Um, I don't know. Oh, well, I guess I don't understand SEO. I understand it in a general way, but I don't know how to make it work for me per se. And then you talk about pop-up ads, um, and I can go look at. I know that Weebly has it. I know I can do it. Oh, what about landing pages? What is a
Um,
landing page the same as a pop-up?
I'm sorry. Said, had you combine it to the pop-up? I'm sorry.
As it is a landing page the same as a pop-up?
No, a landing page is a page that you are considering or you want to be an entry point into your website. So if we looked at your Google Analytics, your home page is going to be your number one landing page. That's
Okay.
where the people come in. But if you had Australian vacations, okay, you you can add content to your site about Australian vacations, but you might do a whole page that you just scroll through, and it's selling you on Australia vacations, book with me, what you're going
Mhm.
to get out of it, and then at the very bottom I've got my get started option, right? So then I might do social posts that are driving people there organically. Search engines will start to pick that up, although SEO is a very, very long game. So it is not overnight. But the problem
Okay.
is if you don't get started and you don't put focus to it, then it's never gonna amount to much. It
Okay.
takes about 6 months for that to even take traction. And at
Okay.
that point, it's not gonna just be open the floodgates and everything comes in. It's just good. You know what, I probably should put together some information on good SEO practices because I do talk about it a lot. But it's really saying this page right here is about Australia. So I'm going to use Australia. I'm going to use maybe some destinations within Australia. So Google and Bing, they all know that this page is about all things Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's looking to travel to Australia and they happen to click on a link that gets them to that landing page, and they stay on that page and maybe they even fill out the form, then now Bing and Google say, you know what, this page really is about Australia travel. And that's how you start to raise up in the rankings. It's when back in the day, when I had my first website, you would hide keywords, and I wasn't the only one that did this. You would
Yeah.
hide keywords behind the scenes on your site to get people to just fall into your website. So the ones that I used back in the 90s, it was Madonna, it was Sandra Bullock, and it was Brad Pitt. I threw these in there
Oh,
because here was my thinking. These people are famous and people would be looking for them. So if I put it in as a keyword within my page, then somebody will fall on my page and they might like me. And I'm not the only person that had that thought. So now we've evolved so much, and Google and Bing are so restrictive with this. You've got to produce. If you're going to have a page that Brad Pitt is the keyword, if someone's searching for Brad Pitt and they go to your site, they need to stay there for a while.
no.
So it's just a good practice to stay very, very focused. What is this page about? What are the words that are keyword phrases that someone might use in a real world scenario
Mm-hmm.
to find this information helpful? And of
Okay.
course, try to deliver on that. And so if you create landing pages, in your space, I would I wouldn't stress out about landing pages or feel like
Okay.
that's something that you need to have. Um, I think that's when you start moving into more focused advertising campaigns or even social campaigns where you're
Okay.
trying to get people to from start to finish be on a landing page and complete the transaction or at least convert on your site.
Okay.
But the pop-up is really just if you can get it to where when somebody moves their mouse to
Yeah.
go move away and it pops up. Um, it's just a way like, hey, wait a minute, you want to hear from me, and maybe
Yeah.
even if you could put your face there, oh god, that would be awesome because then it feels very personal, right?
Okay.
And I guarantee you will get email subscribers that way. We use it on every single website. I've used it for many years, and I will be the first person back when we used to have pop-up ads. Those were everyone hated them. They were awful. but the email pop-up is a part of our world and it works. So don't shut it down.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. Well, I think we did about 50 minutes. I hope it was helpful.
It was. I've got my notes, and I'll work on implementation, and it's been great. I appreciate having the, like I said, the fresh eyes on it to see it from one point of view. I mean, as a whole versus my pieces that I put together, and like, you know, have my little favorite pieces, but that may not be a good whole
Yeah.
whole page.
And sometimes it's fantastic content and it's just not structured in a way that somebody from the outside, outside of your head,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
sometimes you just do need that outside person. Well, I want to thank you. You've been a great sport, and I hope there are some things that are going to dramatically change the face of your website, turn it into your #1 salesperson, because I'm telling you, I'd have to fire this salesperson. They've been around for 2.5 years and they've only gotten me 1 lead. But I think you're doing a really good job. And thank you very much for coming on the website Throwdown. And I know you've got your daughter coming in town. You're checking out for her flight. So I will let you go.
All right.
All of you guys, please check out Kerry's website. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the website Throwdown. And I don't like to date these things, but I do have a holiday tree in the back. So I'm going to say, we all know it's around the holiday season. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and time with your family and friends. I love doing these. And if you would like to join us, then please go to Agent Portal and search for Website Throwdown, and you'll find the place to sign up for it. And Lyman and the group will get you all scheduled, and then I will force myself to not look at your website and just have fun when we're together like this. And as always, reach out to us, give us some comments within this video. Let us know what you like, what you want more information on. I think SEO is the big thing. I think I need to get some more stuff together for SEO because it will help us all. And don't forget about those email newsletters. Those are really important, especially when you say you're going to do them monthly. So,
All right, I'll be checking yours, Joshua.
You please hold me to it. Hold me to it. Listen, guys, have a wonderful day and speak to you next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you.